Hey guys, I want to get right to the point in this video. Today we're talking about the P.Louise Eye Base. It's a very popular base that is going around everywhere. Every influencer has talked about it seems like. So I wanted to hop on here and give you my thoughts. I'm going to prime one of my eyes with the P.Louise Base and the other eye with a concealer that I use on the regular. I was going to use my MAC Painterly Paint Pot on the other eye, but I actually asked you guys on Instagram how to review this or how you wanted me to review it, and you said you'd rather see this base compared to concealer because it's more realistic for people who might not have an eye base at all. So I have my face makeup done. I have nothing on my eyes obviously except for my eyebrows. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to start off with the P.Louise Base. So I paid £18.99, which I don't know what that translates into the US dollar off the top of my head, but I found a discount code which took £1 off. Now mine is in the shade 1. I wasn't really sure. It says Rumour 1 on the back of it. I wasn't sure what shade to get because I didn't want it to be too light. It might end up being too light, I don't know, but we're just gonna go with it. The packaging is really cute. I like that it has the gold and it shows what color the base is because they do come in a bunch of different colors, like every color of the rainbow I think, and a bunch of different skin tones. So I like to carve out my brow, so I have two of the same brush to use with the base and the concealer. This is the Sigma Cream Color Brush that I use to carve out my eyebrows with, so that's what I'm gonna do first. So I'm just gonna squeeze a little bit out onto the back of my hand. So that's just the tiniest amount. I hear that a little goes a long way, so I don't want to use too much. I'm gonna pick this up with this Sigma brush. It does look like it's gonna be a little bit light, but I don't really care with an eyeshadow base if it's too light. I mean, we're covering it up anyways. So I'm just gonna do what I always do. I just carve out underneath my eyebrows. My brows are natural, so I just avoid getting it in the hair. I would say that's too light for me. It feels kind of different than I expected. It definitely does feel a little bit sticky. It also doesn't seem to cover like a concealer. I can't tell if it's full coverage or not. It's so light on me. I think it'll be okay once I kind of blend it out. So I'm picking up a Bake Precision brush and I'm going to kind of stamp that product out, blend it out, make sure it's not patchy. Kind of blending it out into my foundation because it's so light. Okay, so that's what we're working with. It doesn't look too bad. It actually blended out to kind of match. It doesn't look like it's too freaky light on me anymore. So we're going to pick up a clean brush and I'm going to use my favorite concealer. At the moment, my favorite concealer is the Huda Beauty Overachiever Concealer. This is in the shade Cotton Candy. So you can kind of see the Huda Beauty Concealer is definitely more my skin tone. It's not as light as the P.Louise Base. So I'm just gonna do the same thing. My natural eyelid is actually starting to crease over here by itself, so I definitely need a base. The concealer definitely has a higher coverage than the base, I think, and it's a little bit more easy to blend. Maybe just because I've worked with it so often, or maybe because of the color difference, but it just feels like it is an effortless blend. Picking up a different brush to buff that out with. I don't want to mix these two products at all. Also, I'm like a crinkly eyelid bitch, so if you also are a crinkly eyelid bitch, hopefully this video might help you. Okay, so while that is kind of sitting there, I'm going to make sure I set it before I do too much with my eyelid. I'm just grabbing my Charlotte Tilbury powder and I'm going to pop into this, dust it over only the concealer eye. I had so many people tell me not to set the P.Louise base, so that is why I'm not gonna set that base. Okay, so both products I have extra on my hand, so I didn't need as much for either of them, so a little bit does go a long way with both. So here is where the fun comes in. On my Instagram, when I asked for advice on how to film this video, you guys also said that I should use bright colors, and since the only thing in the back of my head right now is Jeffree Star Blue Blood palette, I would like to do a blue look today, and I also would like to use Jeffree Star, so I am going to go into the Thirsty palette. There's one color in here specifically that I am looking forward to trying and packing all over the lid and into the crease. I really want this to be like a blown out blue look. So I'm talking about this blue shade right here. That really pops on camera, doesn't it? So I have two of the same blending brush. I don't know if I really needed two separate blending brushes, but I'm not going to mix between the eyes when it comes to applying this blue color, just to show you guys how they perform differently, hopefully. And I can already see that the eye with the P.Louise Base is creasing more than the eye with the concealer. I'm thinking that's because I didn't set it. I'm actually going to start with that eye, so I'm gonna pick up a little bit of Submerge on this brush. This is the E25 from Sigma. Both brushes are the E25. So here is about the amount of product I picked up. This palette is very pigmented. I'm just going to tap it. Okay, I'm just tapping it. I don't know what to do. All right. So that's like one brush load of tapping, and what we're looking for is like vibrancy. We're gonna see if this eye is more vibrant than the other eye. So I'm gonna set this brush down, prove to you guys that I'm picking up a clean brush, and I'm gonna go in with the clean brush and pick up about the same amount of the Submerge color. So here's the second brush full of the Submerge color, and I'm just gonna pat this brush all over this lid until it's not giving me pigment anymore. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to tell, but I actually do think the P.Louise side is more of a densely packed punch of color than the other side. Like, I can see my eyelid through this side a little bit more than the P.Louise. So I'm going back in with my P.Louise brush, and I'm going to take a second brush full of pigment. We're going to work it a little bit higher this time and over into the corners and whatnot, and start to blend. As I blend towards my brow, I'm seeing that I'm not having any issues. It's not really skipping or anything weird. And it's blending out pretty nicely. There are a few little patches, I would say, right in the middle where the lid was creasing, where I can see my bare eyelid. That is something I would typically pack more product over, but I will do that after we jump over to the concealer eye, picking up some more blue, going above, and blending into the crease. I don't apply too much pressure when I blend because I just want the bristles to be able to do work for me. I'm gonna go ahead and say these are blending out exactly the same. So I'm just gonna switch between brushes again, keep on blending and packing color until I have the look where I want it to be. So as I'm blending, I'm just gonna go ahead and say I think my first impression is that it might hold on to color a little bit better than a concealer-based eye, but at the end of the day, you still have to do a little bit of building. I didn't have like such a dramatic effect that I'm wowed by this base at all. I mean, right now it's looking a lot more pigmented than the other eye, isn't it? But I'm gonna see if I can build up this other eye the same way. So you guys tell me, this is the P.Louise eye and this is the concealer eye. Do you see a difference? Because this is a 4K camera. I don't think I see a difference. I'm looking at the viewfinder if you're wondering why I keep looking over there. I'm never used to this camera. I do not see a difference. So while I'm here, I might as well finish this tutorial. I do have some interesting inspo for this look, so I'm gonna go in with a neutral color from this palette, going into the white shade or bone-ish shade called Parched. I'm using this to make sure that the brow bone area is also blended. I don't really want to have a harsh line up there, But this is a blown out look, and this is the kind of look that I like to do, so I do go pretty high up to the brow. Then taking this tiny blender, this is the E36, I'm picking up more of the blue submerged shade. And this is gonna go on my lower lash line. I'm just gonna buff it out. I've used this shade one other time in my Thirsty palette review, and you guys, this palette is so underrated, I think. I feel like it's the most underrated Jeffree Star palette because everybody loves the blood sugar. It's like beautiful for summer. I'm obsessed. So I believe I've done this before. This is a body glitter from Lemonhead. This is called the Midnight Society Spacejam, which is the body glitter, but it has little tiny silver stars in it. So I'm gonna go fishing for little tiny silver stars because I only want the stars because I'm doing a Jeffree Star look, if you haven't caught on. I really love this Spacejam paste or space paste, whatever, because it has its own kind of adhesive built into it. Like, these don't really fall off throughout the day. Okay, so I just applied lashes and I was applying my mascara and I was super up close looking at the look, and to be honest with you, I don't see a significant difference in the pigmentation at all when it comes to these eyeshadows. I feel like a concealer is just as good as this base. Obviously the base could be used for cut creases, but so can concealer. So to be honest, so far I'm not seeing a real reason to run out and purchase this base over your typical concealer that you like using or just any eye base that you like using. I don't feel like this is like a dramatic life-changing product like I kind of thought it would be. Okay, so what I'm going to do to try to get like a similar effect to my eyes is use the Jawbreaker from Jeffree Star and the Breakfast at Tiffany's liquid lipstick from Jeffree Star and mix them and see if I can get like a cool looking lip to go with this eye look. So I'm going to start with the shade Jawbreaker. And then once that's on and before it dries, I'm going to go in with Breakfast at Tiffany's. I like this look. I think it's really cool. So I don't know what to say. I feel like I'm disappointing you guys, but I don't know. I mean, this might have been a learning experience for me, but also you guys when it comes to like hype on the internet. I just have been doing fine with the eye bases that I use, like MAC Painterly or even concealer, so I don't really feel like this did enough for me to justify recommending this to you guys because it just was not all that dramatic. So I just have to keep it real and say that I don't think that you need to spend your money on this if this is something that you were considering buying. There's plenty of other things to invest your money in that will up your makeup game. So if you guys own this base, then go ahead and leave a comment down below on how you feel about it. I would love to start a discussion down there. If you have any other techniques that you use with this base or anything that I didn't do that you guys do and you love it, let me know. I'm definitely going to get my use out of it. I will continue using it. There's definitely nothing wrong with it. It's just not mind-blowing. It's not blowing other products out of the water. But thank you guys for watching and for hanging out with me today. If you guys enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up for me. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss another upload from me. And hopefully I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye.